if it's going to work. So one of the first things we do before we accept a member is make sure they're educated, that they know what they're, they have reasonable expectations, that they understand this is not a guarantee. So that's a very important thing, to have informed consent. So I recommend anybody who only vaguely knows about the idea, even if they're enthusiastic, should first of all read all our disclaimers and uncertainties. And then if someone wants to actually become a member, it's really a lot easier than it used to be. There are certain forms that have to be filled out. On our website, you can download the membership application. It's just a few pages, fill in the relevant details, and then our membership administrator generates the paperwork, the cryonic suspension contract, and a few other papers that you would then sign. We still get complaints that it's kind of a complex process, but I know when I signed up and you had to make multiple copies of everything, and the stack of papers was just ridiculous. Now it's a fraction of that, so it is a lot better. But it takes generally a few weeks to work through that, because we need to have things like, apart from the person's own agreement and various choices they have to make about their funding arrangements and under what conditions they don't want to be cryopreserved. If their brain is completely destroyed, do they still want to go ahead? If they aren't found for a week after legal death, do they still want to go ahead? But we also encourage them to get relatives to sign affidavits that say they won't interfere with the process, because that's been a frequent problem in the past.
I see. Okay, I want to move on to another practical issue of more personal character by asking you this question. Now, a few months ago, I had the pleasure of interviewing your wife, Natasha Vitamore, and it's impossible not to notice that both of you guys sort of radiate high levels of vitality and personal health. So I want to ask you, what's your secret? And I know that you've mentioned before that our Paleolithic ancestors. So are you following, and I've read a few things